You know you've made it when you're feted by world leaders, copied by doyens of fashion and adored by fans worldwide. Throw in a celebrity romance, marriage and children, the drama of physical injury and astronomical earning capacity, and you'll have some understanding of the person and product that is David Beckham. And by the way,
onside.
He plays football as though with the wings of angels on his feet. Beckham no longer needs his given name. In fact, he has three: David Robert Joseph. The only handle required is Beckham, and it's one of the world's most recognisable monikers. He is the #1 pop star of the world game.
If this goes in, it is Beckham, deflected. There is the cheer, and there is the smile.
Born May 2, 1975 in Leytonstone, London, football's smiling assassin brought many a goalkeeper to his knees, even at the age of 11 when he won the Bobby Charlton Soccer Skills Award. The famous smiles continued when he was signed with world-famous Manchester United as a trainee in 1991 and debuted the following year. Less than a year later, with an FA Youth Cup under his belt, Beckham was a grinning professional with the mighty Man U, for whom he dreamed of playing as a boy.
York has Beckham to his right. Here is David Beckham, onside.
Before long, his deadly accurate and powerful kicking etched itself into the consciousness of opponents and fans alike. Beckham had arrived and took home the hardware to prove it: the FA Cup, Premier League Cup and Charity Shield in one fell swoop. Already the fans were in love. Here was a rough diamond with a cheeky grin, raw talent and wide-eyed innocence. He was drop-dead gorgeous, but when he opened his mouth, which was rarely, his nondescript working-class background was on show for all to see. Still, Beckham was on his way to conquering the world.
I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. So tell me what you want, what you really, really want. I wanna really, really, really wanna say.
Beckham's teammate in real life is real pop star Victoria Nee Adams. Also known as Posh Spice, the supposedly classy one, she chirped her way to fame with Baby, Scary, Sporty and Ginger. They were the feminine Fab Five of the 90s. The Spice Girls had their critics, but they had a message: catchy songs, talent as performers, and good heads for business. Conceived by music producers, the band comprised of 5 respondees to an advertisement for girl singers and hit pay dirt with a song called Wannabe that went straight to #1. Countless hits followed, and with them, fame, record sales and endorsements worth at least 5 fortunes. The Spice Girls' girl power was a 90s brand of feel-good feminism that struck a chord with teenagers the world over. Toughened by the taunts reserved for girls with acne at high school, Sticky Vicky, so called because of her thin physique, who'd begged her father not to drop her at school in the family's Rolls Royce, found her match. Bex had seen her in a Spice Girls video clip and later said he had to meet the one with the bob and the short skirt. 4 months later, they were expecting. Paparazzi followed Bex and Posh everywhere. Tabloids had to pay $1.5 million US, however, for wedding snaps of Britain's new royalty, who moved into a mansion near London, nicknamed, of course, Buckingham Palace. Their marriage in July 1999 followed the birth of son Brooklyn in March, with his name an interesting choice after conception in Brooklyn, New York. 5 years after buying Posh a $65,000 US engagement ring, the quiet lad with lanky hair has morphed into the epitome of style, charm and political correctness. Victoria's influence has been enormous, giving him confidence in the limelight, off-field as well as on. She's widely regarded as the driving force in his transformation to marketable new millennium man, and together they're amongst the world's most influential trendsetters. She's generally the couple's spokesperson, and he lets his wife, his football and his smile do the talking, except on special occasions. It's a boy, Romeo, a beaming David Beckham told reporters. "It's just a name we love," the England captain said. Brimming with pride and easy confidence, he was announcing the birth in 2002 of a second Beckham son, named after Shakespeare's famous tragic character. While her husband has scaled the heights under Victoria's firm and some would say protective guidance, her own career has wilted. Solo musical releases, a catwalk debut and an autobiography have received lukewarm critical responses, frustrating the starlet spoiled by Spice success. After the birth of Romeo, David says he discussed retirement with Victoria. His parents were divorcing, his relationship with Manchester United's manager had deteriorated, and 2 plots to kidnap Victoria and their children had been discovered and thwarted. With Victoria's support, he changed his mind, recalling his love for the game and for captaining the English side. So Beckham kicked on, with the names of his sons on his boots. Dubbed world's most romantic couple in a cable network poll, Posh and Becks have an incredibly strong bond. They've resisted the temptation to hire a nanny to look after their boys and retained a mostly practical slant on life despite the public adulation.
I think it's very flattering. I mean, I think it's a bit of a joke and we have good personalities, so you don't take it too seriously.
As one journalist put it, 5 years on, it's proved a celebrity coupling made in heaven. But football, like public life, hasn't all been smooth sailing for David Beckham. At the 1998 World Cup in France, he was red-carded for kicking Argentinian Diego Simeone. Beckham handed the Argentinians the game on a silver platter by retaliating to fairly standard provocation. It was his first sending off as a professional and left his team a player down. England lost the game and was eliminated from the World Cup. Fans blamed Beckham, and the weight of a country came down hard. He was jeered and reviled by unforgiving fans and learnt an age-old lesson the hard way. It was something along the lines of, "Sticks and stones will break my bones, but no matter how much you're provoked, never let your side or your country down by kicking back." Almost beaten, he plugged on. The following year brought another FA Cup, UEFA's Most Valuable Player Award, first fatherhood and wedding bells. He was instrumental in guiding Man U to its greatest ever successes, a Champions League title, an Intercontinental Cup and an English League title in the same year. At the 2002 World Cup as captain of England, history gave Beckham the chance to redeem himself against old nemesis Argentina. He took the opportunity, converting a penalty that gave his side and country the victory that earned their forgiveness. The red card of 4 years before was forgotten at last. It could have easily been a different story. Just before the tournament, Beckham broke a bone in his foot. He was devastated. He was keen to prove that he'd grown up since he'd let his country down, and was also desperate to show that England could once again be a force in world football. For Beckham and the fans, it wasn't just football.
If we get through the first stages of the competition, then I feel that anything can happen. You need a certain amount of luck, but the team, we've got a lot of very good players, and we can perform.
National pride was at stake. Beckham had been sucked in 4 years earlier and had behaved like a selfish, petulant child. It wouldn't happen again. With the qualities of a champion, Beckham was able not only to play in the tournament, but to lead England to the quarter-finals, where they were defeated by eventual champions Brazil. Back at Man U, a rift developed between the star midfielder and manager Sir Alex Ferguson. It culminated in an ugly incident in which Beckham was struck in the face by a boot kicked by the manager. The resultant wound required stitches, but no amount of suturing could keep the champion at Old Trafford for very much longer. Beckham's determination to be the best football player in the world gained currency in 2003 when he was sold by Man U for an extraordinary $42 million to legendary Spanish club Real Madrid. Beckham was a willing participant in the deal after confirming that he'd still be able to captain the national side despite living in Spain. Man U fans were devastated. Their golden boy was leaving the nest.
I spent 13 very good years at Manchester United. I've got a lot of friends there which will carry on being friends. A lot of fans that hopefully will still watch me in the games and support me.
At Real, Beckham is just another in the stable of champions, and he'll need to work hard to earn the respect of fans and teammates. Goals in early games have certainly helped, but there's a long way to go to find out how good the Englander really is. David's first official appointment with his new club was a televised medical examination. He passed with flying colours and with characteristic good manners apologised to the Real players for disrupting their routines with his unavoidable entourage of frenzied media and fans. The Spanish doctor Del Corral reported that, in our opinion, he's in perfect condition. He's like new. And so it was that the English midfielder received the all clear to sign on with one of the greatest football clubs of all time. Beckham had to abandon his famous number 7, worn by Raúl at Real, and adopt number 23. Not that the fans seemed to mind. Former Real great Alfredo Di Stefano handed him the club's white shirt, adorned with the number 23, made famous by basketball legend Michael Jordan. A fitting tribute, it seems, to this player who stands tall amongst his peers. Beckham showed he's ready to embrace the language and culture of his newly adopted home and demonstrated how far he's come as a communicator under his wife's tutorage. Here he proved he can string 2 words together, even in Spanish.
Gracias. Señor Di Stefano, Señor Pelé, ladies and gentlemen. I have always loved football.
A mí siempre me ha gustado el fútbol.
Of course, I love my family.
Por supuesto, quiero a mi familia.
I have a wonderful life.
Y tengo una vida maravillosa.
But football is everything to me.
Pero el fútbol es todo para mí.
And joining Real Madrid is a dream come true.
Y formar parte del Real Madrid es un sueño hecho realidad.
So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for coming and joining me in my arrival. And gracias. A la Madrid.
Real have won the European Cup a record 9 times and the Spanish League Championships 29 times. The club is banking on Beckham to add not only to their star-studded skill base, but to its marketing muscle, particularly in Asia. And judging by the adulation that Posh and Becks enjoy in the Far East, banking on the bankable Beckham will pay big dividends. He's been known to wear a sarong and paint his nails, and is estimated to have spent over $24,000 on his ever-changing hairstyles.
I'm running out of hairstyles, I think.
As Beckham's pay packet fattened up to over $170,000 a week, so did his wardrobe. When he and Victoria committed to a recent Dolce & Gabbana fashion spread in Italian Vogue, the whole world was able to see how far he's evolved from the media-shy prodigy of the mid to late 90s. The sexy black and white folio appeared as the Italian designers dedicated their 2004 Spring-Summer collection to the England captain. Since 1998, everything David Beckham's worn, every hairstyle he's sported, and every product he's put his name to has become massively successful. Women adore him, men think of him as a good guy, and everyone knows that Becks has that elusive quality, style, in buckets. So modelling sunglasses and getting raunchy for the camera with his wife comes naturally these days. Bex has tattoos of Victoria, Brooklyn and Romeo's names, as well as the phrase spiritual purity. He's not your average footballer.
Here is David Beckham, onside.
Then again, as a footballer, he's not average. Before moving to Spain, Bex and Victoria took a 10-day tour of Asia, and their immense popularity was obvious. At home, the couple has ridden the roller coaster of public opinion, but abroad, and particularly in Asia, the Beckham star has never fallen, which is good news for Real. The Beckhams were welcomed by thousands of screaming fans. News of the move from Manchester United came just ahead of the Tour of Asia, home to millions of his most fanatical and free-spending fans. This trip was less about his football skills than his bankability as a one-man marketing industry in commercials for products as diverse as chocolates and beauty treatments. Japanese television even broadcast his arrival live. International media were excluded from a press conference organised by one of Beckham's Japanese sponsors, and fans outside momentarily thought their luck had changed when Beck's lookalike, Paul Mansley, tried to grab a piece of the action. Imitation being the greatest form of flattery, it was another pointer to the popularity of the footballer. Also flattering, a temple in Bangkok has a gold statue of Beckham among all the statues of Buddha, an indication of his almost godlike status in Asia. In a slightly seedier institution in Bangkok, one of the city's infamous massage parlours, the girls wear Beckham shirts in a bid to attract customers. Herein a paradox. Women love him because he's sexy. Men love him because he's a great footballer and working-class champion.
Open.
In Asia, everyone loves him, men, women and children. He's the cutest accessory in a continent that craves, creates and copies cute. Beckham is marketable big time.
Meiji Almond.
He seems humble, genuine, friendly and accommodating, and flattered by attention. He's eager to please, and whether that's only because it pays or not, he does it brilliantly. And thanks to sponsorship deals, product endorsements and appearances, he's amassed a fortune, reputedly worth at least $300 million US. Thousands of screaming fans packed into the Highmark football stadium in the scorching heat of Bangkok. The 28-year-old was led in by drum majorettes, performed some of his trademark tricks to rapturous applause, and within minutes was curling free kicks into the back of the net. The Beckhams had arrived in Thailand for the second leg of their tour discreetly. Only a handful of people noticed the couple as they were whisked to the exclusive Shiva Som, a luxurious spa resort, to shoot a TV commercial. Beckham stopped his police motorcade to make a Y, or clasped hand greeting, to some roadside shrines. Thais use the Y to say hello and goodbye, but also to pay respect to Buddha. This gesture was said to be an indication of his respect for the beliefs and cultures of all people, rather than an indication of his own religious adherences. Either way, it was diplomatic gold. In Hanoi, fans congregated at the military stadium for a chance to see the star in action. Beckham is revered by the Vietnamese, not only for his football and good looks, but because he's seen as a loving family man, something highly regarded there. He has a well-known rapport with children, which is reciprocated around the globe.
To see the people and the kids, and you know, to see little kids that are just 1 year old and they've got their hair like me, it's pretty amazing. So it's nice to see, and we all enjoy it.
Meanwhile, in China, where he's known as Little Bay, which means Little Beck, some fans weren't happy about him moving to Spain. But they've transferred their allegiance with him regardless, and now support Real with the same fervour. And back on home turf, fans and the police were out in force to see Bex performing best man duties at a friend's nuptials. Victoria and Brooklyn, who was one of the page boys, arrived at the church moments later. The family had flown back from their new home in Spain to attend a wedding. the star-studded 2003 MTV Movie Awards in Hollywood, Victoria and David stole the show. Britain's top celebrity couple sent fans wild with delight when they arrived wearing matching white outfits. Bex had his right arm in plaster to heal his broken wrist, also, of course, in matching white. A glowing Victoria announced the winner for the UK and Ireland Transatlantic Breakthrough Award.
The winner is
Colin Farrell.
Beckham's popular, of that there's no doubt. There's a video game with a digitised Bex in the leading role. People dress like him, copy his haircuts and follow his every move. The reason is that there's more to this footballer than his football. Much more. And people like what they see. He shakes hands with royalty of the traditional kind. Popular royalty like Nelson Mandela.
We've brought a shirt down, which...
Oh, very good.
Leaders of countries, adults and children with no more claim to fame than being fans of the player and his team. To David Beckham, of humble Leytonstone origins, it seems everyone is equal. When a public figure achieves the popularity that David Beckham has, the world has a tendency to immortalise, and often in unusual ways. In Tokyo, a 3-metre-high chocolate Beckham statue was unveiled. And of course in the UK, Madame Tussauds Waxwork Museum has created its lifelike statue of the footballer, even modifying it to comply with changes in his appearance. With the release of his autobiography, David Beckham, My Story, the legend continued to build, and a poster bigger than a soccer pitch, which was unveiled as part of a World Cup advertising campaign, certainly added its weight. Beckham's also been immortalised in celluloid, with the release of the low-budget British film Bend It Like Beckham, which has taken the world by storm.
All I'm saying is, there is a reason why Sporty Spice is the only one of them without a fella.
Japanese fans at the 2002 World Cup wanted to be as close as possible to their idol, and hairdressers in Tokyo were inundated with requests for copies of Beckham's soft mohawk. So one hairdresser gave free Beckham haircuts to 10 people a day. Beckham genuinely loves children, and it's mutual. He lives healthily, not attracted to the drinking and drug-taking lifestyle of many in the public limelight. This adds to his air of wide-eyed innocence, a Peter Pan-like figure at ease with his inner child. Some say he's never grown up, but maybe he's retained and nurtured his ability to relate with young people because he finds them more honest and trustworthy than many adults. Tiny cheerleaders dressed in the English flag of St. George chanted and sang as England players were welcomed to their school in Japan during the World Cup. Beckham presented a signed England jersey to one lucky schoolgirl and then couldn't resist stealing a kiss. The England players waved to the children as they left, and their young fans chanted in salute to their idol. Beckham has joined world leaders like Secretary General of the United Nations Kofi Annan in making television pledges supporting children's rights as part of a UNICEF campaign. It's when he's talking about children that the humanitarian footballer's true colours are on display.
I believe that children everywhere should be free to grow up in health, peace and dignity.
7-year-old Kirsty Howard is terminally ill, born with her heart back to front. Kirsty met David when she led the England team out at Old Trafford for the World Cup qualifier against Greece, and they formed a close bond. In fact, the footballer has said that Kirsty's bravery has changed his life. In that game, Beckham scored the crucial winner, and Kirsty has often said, "I love him because he has held my hand and scored a goal for me." David and Victoria have known the young achiever for nearly half of her life. At the Manchester Commonwealth Games in 2002, Bex and Kirsty presented the Jubilee baton to Queen Elizabeth II, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house as the games were opened. So the boy becomes a man. The man plays football, captains his country, marries his princess of pop, pays a lot for clothes and haircuts, curls plenty of super strikes into the net, overcomes injury, copes with constant media intrusion, works for charity, and has the respect of men, women and children around the world. It sounds too good to be true, but it's not. For the time being at least, this is the life of David Robert Joseph Beckham, Becks for short.